Welcome. This is Diane from Faithart Design Studio, and this video is going to show you how to make this wonderful junk journal window envelope freebie kit that I designed for Junk Journal Junkies Facebook group. So this is my prototype. This is from my Faith Windows kit number 1, where Jesus is the shepherd. And I'm going to show you how we are going to take a discarded, this came in the mail to me, window envelope, and we are going to trim and fold and collage and make this beautiful piece of ephemera. So you end up with pockets that you can put the tags in. You can end up lots of other little fun things. There's some tabs. So that is the template that I'm going to be going. I didn't cover the back because I envision this where you glue it into a junk journal. You could cover the back and it would be a standalone. So let's look at the freebie kit that I created for you. There are 7 pages. There's 2 pages of what I call my strips, okay? And I've given you, I love the blue. We're into like a French blue collage and butterfly and some music. And then I gave you a 3rd sheet where it's just a pretty background, French antique background page. And then in the kit, what you will get are 2 large tags, a little pocket, some tabs, some tickets, and some other fun things. And then there's another sheet of tags. So I would always suggest that when you come to the tags that you print this on a heavier weight. I use Koala brand. This is the 48 matte photo paper, and it's double-sided. So if you have a printer that prints double-sided, that really is helpful. Not for the tags per se, but it just makes them really nice and stiff. And then I use the Koala brand, the 33-pound matte photo paper. It's a good weight, but more importantly, do you see how vibrant and beautiful the graphics come out when you're using a photo paper, a matte photo paper? It's kind of got like a clay finish on it, and that retains the colors of the inks as it's laid down in the design. So that's the kit. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to trim all of the things out and cut them and be ready, and then we'll come back and I'm going to teach you how to use a junk mail window envelope and make a beautiful piece of ephemera. So let me review for you a couple of cutting tips for this kit. Now, as I mentioned to you, my printer doesn't print borderless, so I have to trim it off. And what you'll notice is I have 3 intact sheets. I do not trim these panels down until I'm ready to attach them to the envelope. And the reason is, let me give you an example. Here is another template of another one that I made. Do you see the difference in width between this one and that one? See, one's wider. So if I had already cut this down and then I went to apply it, now I have to do even more collage. So you'll see how I do glue and then attach paper for my collage. So I'm not even going to give you measurements because it depends on the width of your envelope. Now look, this envelope is about the same size as that, okay? So that's why I recommend do not trim those strips at this point in time. If you have a border, trim the border off. You don't need to edge anything at this point because, again, how we're going to use it on the envelope will make a difference. Now, on your tags, go ahead and cut all of those out, and you can go ahead and edge all of that. The 3 tickets that I have created for this kit, I basically just use my little tiny scissors and do that little notch once they're done. Okay, so now they're notched and ready to go. And then if you have a circle punch that's a 1 1.25 inches, it will cut, you can punch out, here, couldn't find it. You can punch out this circle that I made. It works perfectly for a 1 1/4. So that one's ready to go. And then I have 2 more little tips on trimming and prepping your kit. I never worry about the little bit of white around there because I'm going to edge all of my stuff. I just like to do that. Now, another tip that I will give you for my tabs. If you notice, I trim it out and make it like a square, right? And I'm going to show you the reason I do that. Now I'm going to fold it in half, and those two the bottoms will match. I'm going to fold it nice. Then I trim the edge off, and what you end up having is a really nice, it actually matches, both sides match. If you try and cut them out separately, they're not going to be the exact same. So that's just the quickest and easiest way to cut out a tag. Even on this rounded one, I basically cut it the same way. I cut all the edges and make it a square. Then I use my tiny scissors and go around, and now my two tabs are ready. That's ready. Now, this particular pocket that I gave you, I cut this out as a square. Then I take my corner rounder and I'm going to use the 1/4 inch, and then I just corner around the edges. It's so much easier, quicker, and they're all uniform. So I like that. The same thing with these two tags. Now you're going to have to do your own cutting on the top, but on the bottom, the 1/2 inch 1/4 round works perfectly and gives you that really nice finished edge on both of those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ink up all of my stuff, and I will be right back. I just wanted to give you those little cutting tips. I've edged all of my parts, and I use scorched timber from Tim Holtz Distress Inks. And I've also punched the holes in the tags, and that's just with the regular size hole punch. And then I've gone ahead and added my hole reinforcers. And I have a video on how to make this. If you buy one of these packages, like from Amazon, of just sheets of hole reinforcers, they come white, and then you just sit there one day, and it's a fun thing to do. You add, you just add some ink on there and put some stamps on them. You can make them any color that you want. You can see how many different colors that I have in here. I've got some green ones and beige ones, and then I am always ready when I'm making tags because I love to use those. So I wanted to just show you that. Now let's work on our envelope. Okay, so you need one window business size envelope, okay? And as I mentioned, this is actually a piece of junk mail that came obviously for me to pay a bill or something in. So it's got a nice big pocket. You can use the smaller ones like this size. It doesn't really matter. It's all up to you, okay? Now, the first thing that you do, you have your envelope. It should be totally sealed on both sides. The first thing that we're going to do, so I'm going to use this as my demo, and that's going to be it. So here's what you do. You get a ruler, and you are going to go up from the bottom at 5. Okay? Now, this particular one is a little bit different. Let's see, it's different in size, right? We're going to come down 5 from the top. It doesn't really matter which way you go. If we do 5 from the top, then the window is totally enclosed, which I think works a whole lot better. Let me get this in the camera. So I've just come down 5, and you can do this any size because it depends on the window. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is draw yourself a line, a horizontal line across there. Now, the next step that you do is, because this is sealed, right? It's sealed here. It's actually open on the bottom, but that really, it won't matter because you can always reseal it. The first thing that you're going to do then is we are going to open both sides of this. And how we're going to open it is from the line that you just drew. You're going to take your scissors. You're just going to slightly angle in, and you see the little bit that I'm cutting? Literally a hair, okay? And you cut to the top, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to start there, and we're going to just, as I said, it's just a hair. that we're going to cut, and we cut right to the line, okay? So what you've done now is, look, you have freed, and this is now open. So with it open, with your fingers, you're going to take your scissors again, and you are going to cut across that horizontal line. And you're only cutting once. See, I'm not cutting all the way through. You see how the envelope is still there? Okay, so you're just going to cut through there. There we go. We have freed it. Okay, so yours should look just like this. Now, what we're going to do next is we are going to refold this. We're going to bring it down to the bottom, and we are then going to fold it. Let me get my, I'm just going to, you're making a different size, right? Okay, now see how simple that was? So when you lift this up, you now have a pocket, okay? And that's where we're going to be inserting our tags. Now this particular one, when it came in the mail, I opened it with a little bit of a scissor so I didn't mess up the whole envelope. So in that case, I do want it to be closed. What we're going to do is I'm just gonna put a little bead of glue right along the very bottom. That will now be sealed back up, and we are all set. The next thing that we want to do is I like to put a notch here, and you can use a circle, you can use a whale tail punch. I kind of like the whale tail punch better. It's a little bit wider, and so I am going to, it's going to be a little bit hard on the camera. I'll try and do my best to show you, to just eyeball it, right? There we go. That was good enough. That's all we needed to do. Okay? So you could have used a circle punch. You can use a whale tail punch. You know, you can do whatever you want. We're going to end up recutting it once we cover the paper anyway, so don't really worry too much about that. So here is our piece of ephemera that we are now going to decorate. So let me go back over that one more time. I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to use this one because this is my template. Here's my envelope. I measured up from the bottom 5 inches. I drew a line. I trimmed open the sides just with a hair. We refold it back down to the bottom, and there is our piece, and our whole window is there, okay? So that's how you prep your envelope. Now, for the fun part, we are going to collage our envelope. Now, because it has a window, that means you're going to be able to see something underneath there. So in that case, I would normally be covering the front first, but because I want to see what's going to be in there, I'm going to pick this piece because I want that beautiful flower in there. Now see how pretty that is? So you can kind of audition which of the papers that you like in which direction. Now what if I wanted to use the bottom? I could do it there. See why I didn't cut it at all? Because I'm playing around with it. Let me get back in the camera, sorry. Okay, I think I like that right there. So we need a piece from the fold all the way down to there. So if I put it from the fold right there, that actually will work perfectly because that's going to come up and cover all of that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm saying that from the fold. That's not really what I meant. It's going to be right on here. I'm sorry, my head is on the front part of it, which means I have to kind of move this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it on there. I'm going to flip it over. We know we're now going to cut it like that. Okay, and we're going to cut that part. So now if I trim that, then I can lay it on here where I want it, okay? And I am just going to do that with my scissors. I'm not going to get my cutting board out. I don't need to do that. Now typically I tell you don't cut and make it perfect because it could be wrong. But because I want a specific piece of the paper to be on there, I'm doing it this way. Okay, so now that actually works really well, and it will be trimmed off right at the top of the flower. So it works pretty well. So what we're gonna do now is I'm just going to lay that on there real quick. I'm gonna just make a little mark. I'm sorry if seems a little wonky for you to follow, but I know you're all smart and can figure this one out. And then let's just draw a little line. And we'll draw our line there, and then we know this is the piece that we'll be covering, that will show in our window, okay? So let me get my big scissors again. We'll trim this off. There. Now we should be all set. And this will go right on there. See how perfect that is? Now I'm going to use my glue stick. I don't use the glitter glue on this part of it. It ends up, you know, being a little bit wet. I like just to use a glue stick. So we are going to glue that, get it nice and covered with glue, and then it will go right on there. And we've got our first piece collaged. Now, as I said, I do want the punch tab, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. You didn't have to do it when I just did it. I forgot about that. I didn't cover it yet. So it's not gonna really matter. We're gonna go in there as far as I can. We'll get our little notch, and it works perfect. There we go. Now, let's get the edging ink out. I'm going to edge all this now. Okay. Now, if you are interested in more ideas for junk junk envelopes, windows, I have an entire line of products called Faith Windows, and I'm up to 16 of them. And I've created 16 different ways to use window envelopes. These are faith-based kits, but they're lots of fun. So you will be able to see lots of fun things. Okay, so we've got that part done. Now we've got that piece left, which we could use. That kind of would fit right on there. Actually, it does. Now, one of the couple things I want to show you. So this has a rounded window, right? And there are lots of different ways that women do it. The way Diane does it is I square off those corners. And how do I do that is because when I collage, I just go ahead and make it a square. So I'm gonna glue that on the top there, and it's gonna come down here, and you will see that it goes right a little bit over the edge, and that's fine for me. That works. But you know what, before I do that, before I glue it, let's edge it, because I want that darker edge. Now, why do I edge things as I'm making junk journals? There's a couple reasons. Number one, it helps if you don't cut things straight. So it's like a cover-up, number one. But number two, it actually draws your eye in to the design when you edge it. So it's kind of an art principle behind it also, okay? And I typically use scorched timber on almost everything. I do have almost every color of distress inks. I find I use them when I'm doing mixed media work, but not necessarily as much junk journaling work. Okay, so we've got that one piece. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pick two pieces and across the bottom. And it would help if I had this really straight, which I didn't. I'm sorry if you're hearing that buzzing in the background. I can only make videos during the day, and of course I'm in Florida, and I'm in a homeowners association, and my neighbor and I have both been given a notice that we have to clean our driveway. And he's a young man, he's so sweet. He's cleaning mine for free. Like, how awesome is that? So this is his day off of work, and that's what he's out there doing. So I apologize if you hear that in the background. Okay, we have this piece left. Now, it's not long enough that way, and it's not a design that we could turn, which is one way to do it. So I could take this part and use the music, which I kind of like that idea. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So what we're gonna, this is how Diane says she glues and then trims. That's what I'm gonna show you how I do that. Okay, so I've got my glue on the envelope. I'm going to edge this real quick because this is going to be the finished edge, okay? We're gonna lay that on there. Remember what I said, I go over just a tad over the side of the window. And of course, if I can lay it on here straight would be good, Diane. Sometimes it's hard when you're trying to stay in the camera. Okay, let's try that again without getting my head in the way. There we go. Now we've that one down. Okay. Now there's an example of Diane glues and then Diane cuts. That way it works a little bit better for me personally. I'm much happier doing it that way. I'm gonna get my big scissors and then I'm only making one nice big cut. And I love collaging. Collage is one of my favorite things to do because you get to be really creative, you get to make fun stuff, right? Okay, that's looking good. Now let's take and we'll do this part over here the exact same way. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so here I'm gonna lay this out. Now I have a silicone mat, this beige mat that you're looking at. I just got it about 6 or 8 weeks, whoops, didn't edge it, 6 or 8 weeks ago, and I really am liking it. First of all, it looks better on camera, number one. Number two, it does keep everything in place fairly well. There we go. There's the second one. Okay, and we'll lift that up and we'll trim this. So as I mentioned, if you're interested in more videos on how to do more junk window envelopes and make little journals and ephemera, check out the rest of my videos on my channel. And you will be amazed at how many I have. Okay, we've got those two parts done, which I like. Now, I normally, if it was in a different design, I would turn it that way. We're not going to do that. This will be just perfect to put this little piece right there. Let's see, are we going to fit it right in there? Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so let's edge it. Let's put some edging on it all around, and then we'll put some glue. And open that back up. We'll put the glue on. And we'll put our piece on there, and then we'll trim it around. And then we will have created a nice square window. Okay. Now, let me turn it over that way, trim this. There we go, we got that part straight. And now I need to come back over here and trim that. There we go. And that worked well. Where's my, so we will edge that. So I've got all the edges. Before I put it down, I had edged it. So it's looking really pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oh yes, that looks really nice. Okay. Okay, on to the next part. Let's go on to the inside and we are going to cover everything here. Now you'll notice that because we did that punch, now you can see that from the front, and I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it, and before I cover it, I'm going to trim it just enough that I can tuck it down in there underneath that just a little bit, and I think that will look much better. Now this particular envelope size is right on the line, so I'm okay cutting this now. I'm going to go ahead and cut it all the way up because I'm going to go up pretty high. And then now that I've got this piece freed, now, do you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna try and just trim it enough to go in there, and I think that will look so much better. So that's just a little tip that I will give you. And we'll trim this side just a little bit. Again, you saw I hardly cut any off. You don't want to cut off very much. You just want enough. See? Now see how nice that looks now? So now when we glue it down, it's going to fit in there so much better. And then I have to decide how far am I coming. Now, the reality is, look, I could go ahead and come all the way up to here, which, yeah, we might as well, right? We might as well go all the way up. So let's, where's my fold? My fold is right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to edge this. We're going to edge that, and we're going to edge that side. We are going to put glue all over this up to where we want it, and then we can insert that. And it will be nice. Now the fun thing about the nice weight scrapbook matte photo paper that I told you to print on is it has enough tooth, I guess, weight to it is what I'm trying to say, that it really strengthens the envelope. And so you'll see that it actually works really, really well. I think we went all the way up to there. There we go. Okay, now, where is our fold? Our fold is right there, right? Okay, so that works. And we came up to there. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna trim that off. And then we're gonna piece it around the inside like we did the other side, okay? So I have to trim this because it was just slightly wider. And we've got that, and now let's put our fold back onto that side. There we go. There we go. It's looking really, really pretty, isn't it? Okay, so we've got, look how nice that looks. That's looking really, really good. Let's go ahead and just add a little bit more darker to it. And so have you used junk mail envelopes very much in your work? Are you learning something new or just a different version of how to do it? Would love to hear feedback. So I think I'm going to try and use the music paper on those pieces also. Okay, now remember that it's going to be over this way, but when we open it, we're looking at it from that direction. So I want it that direction on there. I ended up not even using that, but you just get an extra fun piece of paper from me, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead, and right away I can see that my paper is a little bit crooked, so let me try and straighten it up a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so now here we go again. Let's put the edge on it. Edge on it right there. We're gonna put some glue. These are such versatile little pieces of ephemera. I love making junk window envelope pieces. They're just really fun. Okay, now here's something perfect. See, when I flipped it over, I went over too far on the inside. It's a good thing the glue didn't totally stick. I don't want to have you see the white on the inside, so I've got to just slide it back just a tad. There, now it's perfect, okay? So now let's cut that. Okay, and we'll trim it this way. I'm gonna go up a little bit, just like that. I'm sorry, I move it to where I can see it, but then it's out of the camera range. There we go. Okay, so now I've got it in camera for you, and we're finishing that part up. And see, now when we flip it, you don't see the white. You see the white a little bit here, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so that piece is done. Let's put some more glue to make sure it's nice and glued down, and we'll edge the outside because we already did the inside. And then we'll work on the next two pieces. Somehow I keep moving the glue and it doesn't move. Okay, let's glue that. Get our glue ready. Okay, and are we gonna go? I think what I'm going to do is use that part. So what I'm gonna do on this is I'm gonna trim this off so I have a full piece that will lay on there correctly. That should work. Okay, let's get the inside edged. And we can lay it on there. And that should work just, hope I didn't go over again. Yep, there you go. So that's one little tip. There you go. See, I got it just a little bit there, so I got to move it back just a bit. And of course, our glue gives you just a few seconds of working. There we go. So we've got that piece. So the music strips actually ended up being really good, didn't it? It adds a lot to this really beautiful piece. There we go. And let's go ahead and put some more glue on there, make sure it's all nice and ready to go. So one side's short, one side's a little bit longer. It doesn't really matter. Let's see, can I take it back? Yeah, I actually can. There we go. There, that worked out good. Okay, we got the edge, and the only thing I didn't edge was this, so let's just flip it a little bit. Get that edge back in there. Okay, one more piece, and we have got our whole envelope covered. Well, we could do the back. We may end up doing the back. I think I will do the back for you, and then you'll see how you can use it then as a little standalone little mini junk journal, right? There we go. Okay. As I said, you could leave that open, and then you would be just gluing it in. If you don't cover it, you would probably have to glue it into a journal. There we go. And there we go. That is looking so good. I love making these. They're so much fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover the back. That music paper wouldn't be enough. What other little pieces do we have? Oh, we have this piece that I cut. Oh, that's so pretty. You know what? I think I'm going to edge it. That's what we're going to do. I am going to collage different parts of it. It doesn't have to be one long piece. It can be multiple pieces. So let's do that. Now, hold on. So when I turn it over, yeah, that's okay. I wanted to make sure I was in the right direction is what I'm trying to say. There we go. We'll match that edge, and then we'll trim on the other side if I need to. There we go. And yeah, it's a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, we've got that part done. And what did I just decide? Too short. Okay, let's see. We could put the music on the top. Yep, let's do the music. That works perfectly. And then we get to finish decorating it. Oops. Let's edge it before we do all that, Diane. And it just is a good collage piece right there. There we go. So you see how you have plenty with 3 pages, and I make them in strips specifically for the envelopes. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks really, really good. Okay, let's edge that. Continue to make sure it's all nice. It's nice and sturdy now that we've added the back on. So that worked well. I think we got it all done up like that. Okay, next we're going to decorate. Okay, I decided to add that circle, and I only glued it on halfway so that I could stick one of the tickets there. And then I'm going to put all these tags in there. So let's add some fun, you know, fabric and stuff like that and ribbon to these. I think I'll put the blue on the brown. So there's lots of places to journal if you like to write. Now, I always talk about don't make blank journals. Let's make journals full of God's Word, because I am a faith artist. And so you could add Bible verses to this if you wanted to, if you were giving it to someone. That would work really well. You could, I have a faith ephemera kit if you wanted to add more faith items. You know, that's an option to do that. So we'll put those 2 in there like that. So I kind of made this like a botanical theme, which I thought was kind of fun. So we got to fold that down enough. And then let's see. Let's put some more. There we go. We'll put those on here. So I hope you've enjoyed this kit. I've enjoyed making these freebies for junk journal junkies. To get the kit, if you're just if you're one of my subscribers on my YouTube channel, go to the Facebook group Junk Journal Junkies, and you go into events, and when you get to the events page, you will see my event, and then their link to download this freebie will be right there. Okay, so I think I like that for the inside. Now I might have made these a little bit too long, but that's okay. Let's fold that over. I added the tab journal on that part, and because we finished the back, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this as a little pocket, and we'll put some more. I gave you plenty of tags. One of the things you will find out from all my kits, including my freebies, I give you way more than you need to make whatever item that I'm showing you. So you'll have lots of leftover stuff. And because these are all beige, you could use these in any color kit, right? You absolutely can. So we'll put those on there. We could, let's see. Oh, we could put this on here. I kind of like that. Let's do that as a fun backing. So this has become a standalone little mini junk journal now because I added all that stuff on the back. And then we've got one more ticket. So we could do 2 tickets right there. And then we've got our tags. And I've got 3 tickets and 1 ticket and 3 tags left, which you could put them all in here, you know. So here is our blue, French blue botanical junk mail envelope, window envelope mini journal. See how cute that came out? And there's 3 tags. And when you flip it over, there's another pocket with more tags. So as always, please like this video. I hope that you will share this video. And the question that I have to ask that I hope you will then leave a comment is this junk mail window envelope the first one you've ever done, or have you done others? Do you like this particular way that I've taught you how to do it? And hopefully you will subscribe to my channel for more fun, faith, art, junk journaling.